Welcome to the National Institute of Academics. Barron'S Gre Words List 44. Somber Sublime. Word, somber. Meaning, gloomy, depressing, dark, drab. Sentence, from the doctor's grim expression, I could tell he had somber news. Word, somnambulist. Meaning, sleepwalker. Sentence, the most famous somnambulist in literature is Lady Macbeth. Her monologue in the sleepwalking scene is one of the highlights of Shakespeare's play. Word, sonorous. Meaning, resonant. Sentence, his sonorous voice resounded through the hall. Word, sophisticated. Meaning, worldly wise and urbane, complex. Sentence, when Sophie makes wisecracks, she thinks she sounds sophisticated, but instead she sounds sophomoric. Word, sophistry. Meaning, seemingly plausible but fallacious reasoning. Sentence, instead of advancing valid arguments, he tried to overwhelm his audience with a flood of sophistries. Word, sophomoric. Meaning, immature, half-baked, like a sophomore. Sentence, even if you're only a freshman, it's no compliment to be told your humor is sophomoric. Word, soporific. Meaning, sleep-causing, marked by sleepiness. Sentence, Professor Pringle's lectures were so soporific that even he fell asleep in class. Word, sordid. Meaning, filthy, base, vile. Sentence, the social worker was angered by the sordid housing provided for the homeless. Word, sovereign. Meaning, efficacious, supreme or paramount. Sentence, Professor Pennywhistle claimed his panacea was a sovereign cure for all chronic complaints. Word, spangle. Meaning, small metallic piece sewn to clothing for ornamentation. Sentence, the thousands of spangles on her dress sparkled in the glare of the stage lights. Word, sparse. Meaning, not thick, thinly scattered, scanty. Sentence, no matter how carefully Albert combed his hair to make it look as full as possible, it still looked sparse. Word, Spartan. Meaning, avoiding luxury and comfort. Sentence, looking over the bare, unheated room, with its hard cot, he wondered what he was doing in such Spartan quarters. Word, spasmodic. Meaning, fitful, periodic. Sentence, the spasmodic coughing in the auditorium annoyed the performers. Word, spat. Meaning, squabble, minor dispute. Sentence, what had started out as a mere spat escalated into a full-blown argument. Word, spate. Meaning, sudden flood or strong outburst. Sentence, after the spate of angry words that came pouring out of him, Mary was sure they would never be reconciled. Word, spatial. Meaning, relating to space. Sentence, NASA is engaged in an ongoing program of spatial exploration. Word, spatula. Meaning, broad-bladed instrument used for spreading or mixing. Sentence, the manufacturers of this frying pan recommend the use of a rubber spatula to avoid scratching the specially treated surface. Word, spawn. Meaning, lay eggs. Sentence, fish ladders had to be built in the dams to assist the salmon returning to spawn in their native streams. Word, specious. Meaning, seemingly reasonable but incorrect, misleading, often intentionally. Sentence, to claim that, because houses and birds both have wings, both can fly, is extremely specious reasoning. Word, spectrum. Meaning, colored band produced when beam of light passes through a prism. Sentence, the visible portion of the spectrum includes red at one end and violet at the other. Word, spendthrift. Meaning, someone who wastes money. Sentence, easy access to credit encourages people to turn into spendthrifts who shop till they drop. Word, stolid. Meaning, dull, impassive. Sentence, the earthquake shattered Stuart's usual stolid demeanor. Trembling, he crouched on the no longer stable ground. Word, stratagem. Meaning, deceptive scheme. Sentence, we saw through his clever stratagem. Word, stratify. Meaning, divide into classes, be arranged into strata. Sentence, as the economic gap between the rich and the poor increased, Roman society grew increasingly stratified. Word, stratum. Meaning, layer of Earth's surface, layer of society. Sentence, unless we alleviate conditions in the lowest stratum of our society, we may expect grumbling and revolt. Word, strew. Meaning, spread randomly, sprinkle, scatter. Sentence, preceding the bride to the altar, the flower girl will strew rose petals along the aisle. Word, striated. Meaning, marked with parallel bands, grooved. Sentence, the glacier left many striated rocks. Word, stricture. Meaning, restriction, adverse criticism. Sentence, Huck regularly disobeyed Miss Watson's rules and strictures upon his behavior. He wouldn't wear shoes, no matter what she said. Word, strident. Meaning, loud and harsh, insistent. Sentence, whenever Sue became angry, she tried not to raise her voice. She had no desire to appear strident. Word, stringent. Meaning, binding, rigid. Sentence, I think these regulations are too stringent. Word, strut. Meaning, pompous walk, swagger. Sentence, looking at his self-important strut as he swaggered about the parade ground, I could tell Colonel Blimp thought highly of himself. Word, strut. Meaning, supporting bar. Sentence, the engineer calculated that the strut supporting the rafter needed to be reinforced. Word, studied. Meaning, not spontaneous, deliberate, thoughtful. Sentence, given Jill's previous slights, Jack felt that the omission of his name from the guest list was a studied insult. Word, stultify. Meaning, cause to appear or become stupid or inconsistent. Sentence, his long hours in the blacking factory left young Dickens numb and incurious, as if the menial labor had stultified his brain. Word, stupefy. Meaning, make numb, stun, amaze. Sentence, disapproving of drugs in general, Laura refused to take sleeping pills or any other medicine that might stupefy her. Word, stupor. Meaning, state of apathy, daze, lack of awareness. Sentence, in his stupor, the addict was unaware of the events taking place around him. Word, stymie. Meaning, present an obstacle, stump. Sentence, the detective was stymied by the contradictory evidence in the robbery investigation. Word, suavity. Meaning, vanity, polish. Sentence, the elegant actor is particularly good in roles that require suavity and sophistication. Word, subdued. Meaning, less intense, quieter. Sentence, Bob liked the subdued lighting at the restaurant because he thought it was romantic. Word, subjective. Meaning, occurring or taking place within the subject, unreal. Sentence, your analysis is highly subjective, you have permitted your emotions and your opinions to color your thinking. Word, subjugate. Meaning, conquer, bring under control. Sentence, it is not our aim to subjugate our foe, we are interested only in establishing peaceful relations. Word, sublime. Meaning, exalted or noble and uplifting, utter. Sentence, Lucy was in awe of Desi's sublime musicianship, while he was in awe of her sublime naivete.